Pledge of Allegiance will also be led by Representative Winter, House District 65.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schiebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile, Armagost, Bacon, Byrd, Representative Byrd,
Excused.
Bockenfeld, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Brown, Catlin, Representative Catlin,
Excused.
Clifford, Rep. Clifford, yeah. Doherty, DeGraff, Degree Kennedy, Duran, Rep. English is excused. Epps, Evans, Frizzell, Froelich, Garcia, Rep. Garcia, Hamrick,
Excused.
Hartsook, Hernandez, Herod, Rep. Herod, Holtorf, Rep. Holtorf, Rep. Holtorf's excused. Judah,
Here.
Joseph, Representative Joseph, Rep. Joseph's excused. Kip, Leader, Lindsay, Linstead, Rep. Linstead, Linstead's excused. Luck, Rep. Luck's excused. Lukens, Lynch, Mabry, Marshall, Martinez, Morrow, she's here, McCormick, McLaughlin, Ortiz, Representative Ortiz.
Thank you.
Ortiz is excused. Parenti, Puglisi, Ricks is excused today. Rutanel, Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Story,
Acknowledge that, and that way people will know.
she's here. Taggart, good morning. Titone, Valdez A, Velasco,
Present.
Vigil, here. Weinberg, Weissman, Wilford, Wilson, Rep. Wilson, Wilson's excused. Winter, Woodrow, Representative Woodrow, Young, and Madam Speaker.
With 54 present, 10 excused, and 1 vacancy, we do have a quorum. Representative Winter.
Morning, Madam Chair. Madam Speaker, I move that the Journal of Wednesday, January 17, 2024 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, you have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the chief clerk. All those in favor say aye. Thank you. All those opposed, no. The motion is approved. Members, I will invite you to take your seats. Our first order of business today is consideration of memorials. Members, I will invite you to take your seats. Please, thank you. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title of House Memorial 24-1001.
House Memorial 1001 by Representative Sirota, memorializing former Representative Alice Borodkin.
Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move House Memorial 24-1001 on third reading and final passage and ask for it to be read at length.
Mr. Schiebel, please read our memorial.
Whereas our beloved former colleague Alice Borodkin departed this life in April 2023 at the age of 89. And whereas Alice Borodkin was born in New York City on April 16, 1933. And whereas Alice Borodkin was the wife of the late Howard Borodkin, and after his death, the late Arnold Brodsky, the mother of Stephen Borodkin and Julie Borodkin, and the grandmother of Zachary Borodkin. And whereas Alice Borodkin, as a member of the Democratic Party, served as a state representative for Denver and Arapahoe counties from 2001 through 2008. And whereas Representative Borodkin not only served on the House committees on Business Affairs and Labor, Finance, and Transportation and Energy, and the Joint Transportation Legislation Review Committee, but also served as the chair of the Interim Committee on Economic Development in 2005. And whereas, as a state representative, Alice Borodkin sponsored many bills, including House Bill 1143, which created the Interagency Task Force on Trafficking in Persons. And in 2006, she was the House prime sponsor for Senate Bill 207, which made human trafficking a felony. And whereas, beyond her achievements in the legislature, Alice Borodkin was a pilot, an editor, the director of a women's shelter, and the author of the 2015 memoir, Caught Between the Bettys. And whereas Alice Borodkin's civic involvement included membership in the National Abortion Rights Action League, as well as Planned Parenthood. And whereas Representative Borodkin was well respected throughout the Capitol, and her presence will be greatly missed. Now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 74th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, that in the death of Alice Borodkin, the people of Colorado have lost a dedicated public servant and outstanding citizen, and that we, the members of the Colorado House of Representatives, do hereby extend our deep and heartfelt sympathy to the members of her family and pay tribute to a faithful servant of the state of Colorado.
Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You can sit. I first met the Honorable Alice Borodkin when I was first running to represent House District 9. And I sought her out for some insight and some advice. And she had represented the district that largely resembled what I ran for in 2018. And she was so lovely to me, offering pearls of wisdom and sharing stories of her time in the legislature. And it was so clear that she was so proud of her accomplishments here, and especially around her work on women's issues and human trafficking. And as you heard in the memorial, she really was a force in her day. In her memoir, which I have here, and anybody is welcome to come take a look. It's quite a read. She described herself as stubborn, stronger than she thought, smarter than she gave herself credit for, and able to survive life's stumbling blocks. What she wanted in life was to be validated for the whole person that she was. As well as a daughter, a wife, a mother, she also wanted to be seen for the businesses and organizations that she ran, for earning a pilot's license and flying solo, and for the issues that she legislated on around domestic violence, the wage gap, women's health and reproductive rights, sex and age discrimination, and human trafficking. She said what drove her to the legislature were the women, wanting to see women move forward. She loved the sisterhood she found in this chamber on both sides of the aisle. She certainly cherished her time here, and I'm grateful to have had the chance to know Alice Brodkin, and I know she'd be so pleased to see her former colleagues here today to honor the time that they spent with her.
Members, Representative Sirota, did you want to request a recess at this time? Did any other current members wish to speak? I do not see anyone else wishing to speak. Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I request a recess to allow former members to speak under House Rule 26F.
Thank you, Representative Sirota. Members, for your information, current lobbyists who are former members are permitted on the House floor pursuant to House Rules 39B3 and 38D. The House will now stand in recess. I am delighted to welcome to the floor this morning some very special guests, and I do not see our Lieutenant Governor. Representative McGeehan, would you like to speak first? Please join us.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My dear friend, our dear friend, I always do this at this microphone at memorials. Anyway, Alice was a force of nature. She was passionate. She was a passionate friend. She was a passionate legislator. She was a passionate mother. She was passionate about all of her causes. She had the world's greatest infectious smile. But did you know that she's the only member of the legislature that I'm aware of who has a book for sale on Amazon? She has donated her papers to the Denver Public Library, completely unaware that you could even do that. She served this body so well. She served half of her time in the minority and half of her time in the majority, and she was this consistent throughout. She ran the Holocaust Week Awareness joint resolution every session, except the special sessions she served in. She was passionate about the human trafficking issues. She was passionate about her breast cancer awareness license plate, which is the only license plate bill in appropriations that I ever voted for. Although I was asking Representative Middleton if she could remember, for some reason, Alice got upset that we wanted to use the fees from the breast cancer awareness license plate to treat breast cancer. She just didn't want her bill messed with, we think. You know, we're all a little bit like that. But I remember this fabulous woman with a smile for her friends, with a smile for Arnie, her wonderful husband, and a smile for her daughter, Julie. And I'm sorry I don't see Julie here today, but Julie practically served in the legislature as her mother's aide. It was a wonderful pair to see. Alice will be greatly missed. She'll be missed at her House District meetings, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Representative Sirota, that she attended for as long as she could, did she not? Okay. She was a dear friend to all of us. If you read some of her memorials, you can read about what a great friend she was to her colleagues in this House and to her community. She was an avid businesswoman. She was an editor of a paper, got into a little tiff about that, and so started her own competing paper. So there was nothing she wouldn't do when she was passionate about it. And I would note that when she served, she did it all with great passion. With that, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Middleton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning. I'm so delighted that Representative Borodkin is being memorialized this morning, and I think it brings a lesson to current legislators is always think about who you're sitting next to, who you've served with, who you've run a bill with, because her work was so impactful, and she had been here for many terms when I started as an incoming legislator in a vacancy. And just knowing that warm smile, relationships with everyone across the aisle, and really being just a bold leader. And she lived a whole life before she ever came to the legislature. So I first knew her as a women's rights activist in Denver when I moved here in the early 90s, and she was publishing a paper that was lifting up stories that nobody else would have ever read. And when she passed, and I read her obituary, I was saddened that more of us weren't aware. I'd had coffee with her, I think, right before COVID, but that we lose touch. So my message to those of you who are here today is that it is important to memorialize those who've come before us. It's important to maintain those relationships with those you're serving with now, and also really important to remember them when they've moved on, because some of the lessons that they will give to you prevent us from repeating mistakes and lifting up victories. So I'm here today to honor her legacy, and I'm so grateful to Rep. Sirota for giving us time to think about her successes and what she has been able to contribute to all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Lieutenant Governor Primavera.
Well, thank you, Speaker McCluskey. Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be back in this House floor. Best job you'll ever have in your life. So Alice Borodkin, as you probably know, was a member of our Democratic Party, served as a state rep for Denver and Arapahoe counties from 2001 to 2008. She served on House committees on Business Affairs and Labor and Finance, Transportation and Energy, and the Joint Transportation Legislative Review Committee, and also served as the chair of an interim committee. She sponsored lots of bills, including House Bill 1143, which created the Interagency Task Force on Trafficking in Persons, and in 2006, she was the House prime sponsor for Senate Bill 2007, which made human trafficking a felony. Big accomplishment. So I sat somewhere over here, and Alice Borodkin sat right behind me. And so what was really funny is, if you look at the board, Alice Borodkin was one of the first people for roll call. Alice Borodkin wasn't always there for roll call. So they would say, the speaker would say, Representative Borodkin, dead silence. Representative Borodkin, dead silence. Start to go on to the other name. Pretty soon the doors would fly open. I'm here. And she'd come in with her little high heels and run to her seat and ask me if she'd missed anything. So anyway, she was quite the character, quite the force. Little bitty thing, probably shorter than I am, but with her heels and with her personality, she was a big power. So I'll miss her. I enjoyed serving with her, and thank you for letting me talk about her.
Thank you. Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning. It's always great to come and see new faces in the desks that we all sat in. I've known Alice since early 1990s. She decided to run for the city clerk position, not city clerk, but it was basically the election commission, which in those days was elected. Today it's not, it's appointed. But she was really, really enthusiastic, so enthusiastic that when she did her signs, she had her picture. She wanted to make sure that people recognized who she was. So she was really ahead of her time that way because she came from New York. You know, us Coloradoans didn't really know how to campaign. She knew how to campaign. And so it was a lot of fun working with her. She joined the National Women's Political Caucus Colorado chapter here. I represented it at the national level. She was here in Colorado. And we both learned a lot about how to run for office. Especially in those days, it was hard for women to run for office. And most of the offices were held by males. Nothing against you guys, but it was important for us to achieve parity. That meant 50% women and 50% men in each chamber. I think we've kind of passed that here in Colorado, but I'm okay with it. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, that's how Alice and I, knew each other. Once she came into the legislature, she came in after me. She really worked hard on protecting children and women and the trafficking that we were beginning to see behind the scenes through immigration that was undocumented, as well as, others because of the downturn in the economy. She really did her homework there, and I still almost want to cry because of what she did there, because we all know that's happening still today, and we really need to pay attention. So I want to honor her and mention that, yes, it's mentioned in the resolution that she carried these, but sometimes hearing it from people, you kind of get the sense of how important that was. The other thing is as spouses, as partners, we need somebody really important next to us. She had that in her husband, and she also had it in her daughter, Julie. The team was wonderful to watch when they were here in the legislature, and Alice was very humorous, like was explained. She really was quite a character. She's one of those that we say that when you came into the room, you filled the room. I think she filled it and then maybe went over, but I loved Alice a lot, and she was a dear, dear friend. I had lunch with her also before COVID. She had just suffered a stroke, but boy, she was still going like the Energizer Bunny, and I will miss her.
Thank you. Do any other guests want to speak at this time? The House will come back to order. Members, the motion before us is the adoption of House Memorial 1001. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Bachenfeld is excused. Representative Bradley. Please close the machine. With 58 aye, 6 excused, and 1 vacant, the memorial is adopted. Co-sponsors. Representative Ortiz, Velasco, Judah, and Epps co-sponsor. Please close the machine. Members, it's time for announcements and introductions. Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, this is a more fun announcement than the one I had yesterday. It's not about SMART Act, although we know we love SMART Act. I hope you were able to grab some breakfast courtesy of the Colorado Association of Medical Equipment Services, or otherwise known as CAMES, and that you were able to chat with some of the Durable Medical Association providers from across the state. They are here today visiting our Capitol. They provide all kinds of medical devices. They follow many issues here at the Capitol, so if you're working on different aspects, you might of anything that's going to touch medical equipment like Medicaid reimbursement, access to quality health care, keeping businesses healthy for their employees, you'll want to make sure that you're touching base with this group, as I know they might have lots of interesting input to share with you. So make time for them, and thank you again.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I've received approval from the Majority Leader to be absent tomorrow, 119. Thank you.
So approved. Representative Doherty.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Joint Health will be meeting in the Old State Library upon adjournment for SMART Act hearings. See you there.
Thank you. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today.
The House will stand in recess until later today.